Cool. So it's Non-Stop Wrestling Chat. My name is Barry, as everybody knows me, Baldy, and I'm joined by the awesome man himself. You've been on the channel millions of times, and if you want to introduce yourself and big yourself up a wee bit.
No, all right then. It's great to be back on your channel, Barry. My name's Aaron, WrestlingByWooldridge. I am on a little bit of a break at the moment, but if you look at my channel, I sort of dabble into analysis for different matches, do predictions, different stuff like that. Although I am going to try and change up the format of where the channel's going. But so yeah, if you're not familiar with me, please give us a subscribe. But yeah, always great to be on your show, Barry. I love all your videos you do, so it's always great to be here.
Feel privileged when somebody says they like my videos. I'm like, who watches me just shout about how bad wrestling is? But we're going to open up the day by talking about control your narrative, which is kind of...
It's my favourite promotion, that is.
If I know a lot of people don't remember XPW, Wrestling Society X, that's what it was called. With Vampiro, they had Sean Waltman, X-Pac in it and stuff like that. And it was on MTV. It ran for a TV season, and the same feeling, like it was an MTV show. Like it wasn't meant to be a wrestling show. I get for this. Like the rules we've got for it are what you're in control is number one. Number two is you're in control in capital letters. So that's serious control there. 3, fights end when you tap out, get knocked out, can't stand or quit. Sanctioned matches can end via pinfall. So, wrestling is the kind of rules that I don't know. 4, standard professional wrestling, and these rules apply for sanctioned matches. Chaos ensues in the project pit.
I'm guessing that's the ring?
the project pit.
It's got to be the ring, isn't it? Yeah.
Disney say it sounds like now that for Saw 2, the big hole in like needles and stuff. The project pit. That's what that was probably called. Then we've got 5 is no super kicks, no suicides, no Canadian destroyers. I don't know why they've really went no super kicks and no Canadian. Like name the moves. These 3 moves, you can't do them. That was number 5. 6 is what the fight isn't with your opponent, it's with yourself. So
gonna get an easy for just coming out like punching himself in the face.
That's gonna be weird one. 7, you've got fights will go on as long as they have to. Sanctioned matches hit their times. I don't know what that means.
Maybe they just have time limits. I don't really know. I honestly don't know what to make of it.
Then 8, if you want to #control your narrative, you have to fight. This honestly puts me in, like, now when you're in school, back, you're similar age as me, that one weird guy in your class that watched Fight Club, and then he tries to start a fight club. And you're like, what are you doing? That's just kind of weird. It's got like rules. We don't talk about it. It's like, this is just yourself in the back of the school, isn't it?
I must admit, when I first saw the rules, I was like, this is Fight Club. This is like, what's the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. But like, yeah, man, the first thing I read when it was like, you are in control. You are in control. But you can't do this. You can't do this. You got to fight yourself. It's like, well, am I in control or am I not in control?
I don't really understand the premise to it. I don't think there had to be. It didn't have to be there. Nobody was asking for it. We've got enough wrestling promotions. I don't like. And it's so weird. Like we've got a TV announcement. Like we've got a TV deal, and I was like, oh, must be having a lot of money behind it if we get a TV deal. But it's on the Professional Wrestling Network. But it's like a football game being on the football channel. It's not really it's kind of a given. Really. Do you know what I mean? It's not really. We've got a comment here. It's breaking news: AEW's partnership with DDT Pro Wrestling.
Interesting.
No.
To be fair, I have actually watched a little bit of DDT lately. It's okay. Like, it's not too bad. It's just I'm not surprised, to be honest, because that's where Kenny Omega started, isn't it? So it kind of makes sense.
We don't need that silly style wrestling. I don't need that shit in my life. I mean, I don't need that. But I want to watch wrestling. I don't want to be fucking watching a cartoon. I'll go watch anime or something if I want to feel like a child. But that's me probably lost me subscribers. Honestly, I'm not. I'm not in this to.
I must admit, if they're going to partner with anyone, I'd probably prefer it be. Well, I don't know if they're in a partnership with New Japan, but I mean, even Noah. But there you go.
I don't really get the partnership stuff that AEW's done. None of it's worked. Like they had the thing with Impact, and then it was just like I don't know how Impact. Like I don't know.
They did not benefit. I mean, they had Kenny there, but
I forgot. To one pay-per-view was it? He came out when. Did he even do a pay-per-view? I'm sure he done.
Kenny for Impact. I think he did a couple. Yeah, he faced Moose. I can't remember, to be honest. But it's control your narrative thing. Sorry.
So SCW Steve's a big Impact guy. Last week we were talking about it, and he was mega supportive of it. I've not watched it in so long that if I went back and watched it, it would feel new. I think it was me and yourself last year were watching it, and we kind of got burnt out with it. We were talking about it on a podcast. It just seems like a copy and paste storyline style. But the control your narrative stuff, like, where are they going to go? Like,
I must admit, like, I am intrigued. Like, the rule book is a bit silly, but I have seen pictures of like the setup and stuff. And I must admit that the first thing I thought when I saw it, I was like, this is what Raw Underground should have been. Like when I saw the setup, I was like, oh my God, this is kind of, I like the idea behind it in a way. So I don't know. I am intrigued. I'm probably going to see how it goes, to be fair. But yeah, it is a bit. I think they're just being a bit dramatic about it. It's like, lads, it's just wrestling. Just wrestling.
Like Camden, like it's no. They are taking it very seriously, aren't they? And I think it's. I get what they're trying to say is that we're going to be different and stuff like that, but. It's kind of just this is pretty weird. And what you've got EC3.
I feel like.
What's his name? Strowman.
Strowman, Austin Aries, and all that lot. They got Killer Cross, didn't they? Which is quite a good get.
Yes.
But I feel like by them like saying we can't do super kicks, you're not allowed to do destroys. It's like don't tell us that. Just structure your matches so you don't do those moves, and then people might. It's just being a bit obnoxious in a way, being like we're not going to do these moves. It's like, all right.
It's weird as well. Like control your narrative. You're in control, but don't do this stuff and follow these rules. Like I'm not really in control if I need to follow the rules. You're not making any sense. But I'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see how it goes. See if anything comes from it. But I don't think it will. I think we'll just see it crash and burn. And these guys are probably using this to like get a better deal back with WWE or
Strowman, man. If WWE offered Strowman a contract, he'd go. Like, I honestly think that guy loves WWE. So
talking about contracts being offered and all that jazz, you need to talk about Cody Rhodes. He's been to have signed the deal with WWE. And what's your thoughts on him? And do you think it's a good deal? Do you think he's just done it for the money? What do you think?
Bit of both, I think. I think, him and Brandy have had a kid, so I can imagine one of the biggest reasons would be to have that kind of, have a bit of money behind him. And I don't think you can blame him for that, to be honest. But the way I see it with Cody, a lot of people are like, they're just going to turn him into a mid-carder. They're just going to do this, which it might happen. But I feel like when he signed the contract, I would have thought, he would have had a conversation and put in some assurances to be like, I'll come back as long as you have something for me. So, people are suggesting like he might go to NXT and, run stuff over there. You never know. Something like that could happen. So, yeah, it's kind of like a wait and see situation for me, for sure. But what about you?
I honestly don't know how to feel about it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's not. He's obviously went for the money. I would have went for the money as well if you wanted me to come back as Stardust, and you're paying me $6 million a year. I'll be Stardust. You give me $6 million a year. It's not going to be the end of the world. But I have a feeling that he might be. So you've got Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins doing the little thing. Austin's kind of stoating around there. Austin brings out Cody Rhodes at Mania. They do a tag match. Austin gets his match at Mania. But
that's a bit
he
weird.
doesn't need to be
Cody
in.
and Austin.
But you know that's kind of something that Vince would do. Like, you can't... We're saying weird. We had Nia Jax and Lana have table matches for about 8 weeks straight. So let's not say anything weird about WWE. It's completely nuts.
Cody versus Seth, if that match happens, I'd be up for that. Sounds like a pretty good match, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know. There's some good matches for him. So, yeah, he's not going to be a world champion or anything like that. He's not on that sort of level.
No, and they're not going to make him a world champion anyway, because you're bringing him for AEW. They don't want to make him look really cool in case he goes back. So they're going to be like, you're going to be a mid-carder and you need to work your way up till you prove yourself to us. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, what has AEW done? Like, how have they pissed them off so much?
I've heard some people say, like, it's a work and Tony Khan's in on it and Vince and Tony have a deal, and I'm just like, no. And I've been down that road before, where you think of all these grand ideas. Like, oh my God, Cody's actually still with AEW. It's not. He's just signed a contract with WWE, and that's it. But I wish it was so. Like, there was going to be some little war going on, or interaction, but I can't see it. So
I don't think WWE's really, they're making more money than anything, and they don't know really interested what AEW's doing. And when you look over at the AEW product, it's fun to watch. I do like watching it. It's the only show that I watch weekly now, because Raw literally dragged the living life out of me for wrestling. I was like, I can't watch this shit anymore. Like, I was questioning my whole...
I like how a lot of people watched Monday Night Raw expecting Cody Rhodes, and obviously he didn't show up, and everyone was like, oh, just had to sit through 3 hours of Raw. So
I have to do the shout out for GG on Wrestling on that one. He sat and watched the 3 hours, and his Twitter the day after was just, you could tell he was contemplating being a wrestling fan. He was like, why have I done this? I shouldn't. I've wasted my life. Like, this is... But you never watch a 3 hour Raw in one go, because it's probably the worst decision you can ever do. And I'd done it for, a year and a half, reviewing it. Yeah, man, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was just terrible. But when you look at AEW, they're making some mistakes. For me, again, we've had this... I think we've spoke about this, the first podcast I had you on, the second one, when I've been on your show, and all the ones in between. AEW's roster's far too big. The world champion doesn't seem like a world champion. Him against Adam Cole. Adam Cole. Didn't matter. It's a good match for us wrestling fans. Nobody knows who these two guys are. Because Adam Cole, even though wrestling fans think he's like Jesus, he was on NXT, a normal person doesn't know who he is. But it's weird, like the Thunder Rosa winning the championship. I think Thunder Rosa's fantastic. I've spoke to her to try and get her on the podcast a few times.
Oh, really?
She's so nice, like perfect, like
really?
nothing, nice to talk to. So, and I've been a fan for her for ages. But getting her the win on a random show when we had just had the pay-per-view, like if I can watch the championship change hands on just a normal show, why do I need to watch your pay-per-views? It's just wee things like that, especially for AEW, is what fucks it up. And at that point, you're like, Tony Khan's just went full like fantasy booker, and he's like GM mode on fucking a game, and started like, this is going to be so cool, and it's like, you've just what have you done?
Yeah, I think, with the Thunder Rosa thing first, I agree. Like, I am really glad she won the title, and I do think it was time for her to win it. I think Britt Baker's reign was getting a little bit stale, but I don't know. There was just something missing from it all. Like, the whole story just underwhelmed a little bit. But I think it definitely needed to main event St. Patrick's Day Slam. But the way I saw it is that match should have main evented Revolution. Like, that story should have been that big. It should have main evented a pay-per-view, because it's the biggest story that you've got on your women's roster. But they just, I don't know. Yeah, the story just wasn't there for me for some reason.
I was very excited for that tie-up between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa again after their really cool match before. I was excited to see that, and like you said, it just felt kind of just like no, and then it didn't make any sense. If it's win and losses, you get like you got bet, but then you come back to get the match. I think they need to patch that win and loss shit, don't they? They need to just delete that from.
No, I know what you mean. It's like with the roster size as well. I do hear like the argument that they get to give wrestlers sort of like some time off, sort of thing. Like Miro, for instance, he hasn't been on, and then he comes back. But I don't know. The way I see it is, I know you get fresh matches every week, which is great. You know, we never see repeat matches; it's quite rare. But I feel like wrestlers lose momentum. Like FTR, for instance, there was a time when they didn't show up on TV, and I don't know. With Miro, I feel like he had a great TNT run. He lost it to Sammy. I know he got injured, which is fair enough. But I'm hearing like he's ready and they've got nothing for him, and I just feel like wrestlers lose momentum because they don't show up every week. It is very hard for them to balance, but yeah, man, they're signing so many wrestlers like Jay Lethal. Where's he been? Yeah, they signed him, and he's just. I know that he's probably going to go to Ring of Honor. I know, but yeah.
Even that, the Ring of Honor signing, like buying Ring of Honor, was a wee bit like. That's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you're going. Sorry, what you were saying?
Personally, I think it's a good move in a way. That's the thing, though. If he's going to keep signing all these talents, and now he's got Ring of Honor. It is quite a good idea, I suppose, because you can send some of your, I don't know, like a Daniel Garcia or a Lee Moriarty who never really get on TV. Send them to Ring of Honor. They can be like your main eventers, and as we say, like your Jay Lethals, Swerves. I don't know. It's just a good way of splitting the roster. So I guess I like it in that respect. But this whole idea where Tony Khan's going to be the creative of Ring of Honor and AEW. It's like, oh, that is spreading yourself thin. So,
but see, if you think about it as well, with ROH, so Ring of Honor there, right? And you've got, they send these guys down there, they use it like an NXT kind of style stuff. But then if they send somebody like a Miro there, like to go, or they send these guys down there, like just the lower kind of mid card guys.
Yeah.
Then the guys who are taking the upper mid card section start to be the lower mid card, lower kind of opening.
That's a good point.
That showing, and they're like, but I'm meant to be a main eventer. Why am I opening for fucking Orange Cassidy? Like, why am I opening for him? And it's a weird situation. And Tony Khan needs to stay off TV. He shouldn't be talking on TV because that guy is either on a shit ton of drugs or he's just on a lot of coffee.
He's an insomniac, man. He just does not sleep.
But if you think about it as well, like, it's not going. Can he take on that much? He's not a Vince McMahon. Like, he's no somebody. Vince McMahon hit wrestling at the perfect time to take it from where it was, hit that period when anything went in the world completely, and then he's changed it to be obviously for kids. We look at it and we're like, this is fucking shit. We've seen this all the time, but kids are watching it. They know what they're going to get, and same kids are watching it. American kids are watching it. The rest of the world is pretty much no interested in wrestling anymore. But AEW is, they're trying, which is good. And the only reason I'm really critical of it is because I want it to succeed. I enjoy it. It's my favourite wrestling show. But while I've got you, we need to update on NXT 2.0. I think we've done a podcast just as it started, and we were like, what the fuck's this shit going to be? How do you think the shit's turned out? Do you think it's still a shit cake, or is it warmed up and came all right?
I like it, man. I must admit, I can't lie. I am a fan, but like this past week when they had that makeout thing, I was like, man, you are testing me. You are testing me. Because that was like, what is this? Why is this on a wrestling television show? But what I do like about NXT, I don't like how the matches are shorter. That's kind of got that main roster feel to it, which I don't like. But I like the characters. I like the new guys coming in, like D'Angelo and Carmelo Hayes, Bron Breakker. I love all these guys. I think they're great. And I think they're doing a good job of building them up as well. But yeah, man, they're giving it that main roster vibe. And it's like, oh, stop.
No, I think they
I
had
don't
to
mind
change
it. I
it.
don't mind it.
They definitely had to change it. NXT the old way wasn't good for like the whole of the pandemic stuff because it
I
was
agree.
pretty hard to watch. I don't like NXT 2.0. I think it's cheap pops. You know what I mean? You've got like that. I can't remember the woman's name, but she's got like just because she's got a nice ass, you're like, there, here we go. We're going to promote this woman. And you've got Mandy Rhodes to get the look and stuff like that, so you can get younger people in to try and watch it. And you're like, this isn't going to work. It's same for the Braun Breaker and stuff like that. This is awkward. You're making this just feel very like awkward. I don't know. I can't get any at all. I think it's just
I can understand like that it's very divisive. You know what I mean? It's just.
But Braun Breaker should just be called Steiner and put in the main roster. Let that guy go.
Yeah.
Like just let him go.
They hint at it, don't they? You know, they hint at it all the time. Like him and bloody Ciampa came out wearing Steiner gear the other week. It's like just, I don't know.
Just geese
it's a bit confusing.
Just geese what we want. That's all we need. But what's your thoughts on Jeff Hardy going to AEW? I know obviously we just moaned about the roster going bigger, but what's your thoughts on him going there and the situation of him coming out and saying that he just fucked off during the match? Like he was like, "Fuck it, I'm away home."
I am a bit conflicted in a way. Like I am kind of glad he's like back with Matt, and you know he's probably happy in AEW, which is cool. I don't think I agree with the way he left WWE. He's kind of left, you know, his like peers high and dry in a way. But you know, it's nothing to do with that. But I don't know. I mean, as you say, I'm kind of a bit, you know, I'm not bothered by it in a way. I'm not fussed about seeing the Hardys on television. I know there's some people which will always adore the Hardys, and I am a fan, or I was a fan. But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so many tag teams in AEW. Some people are saying they're going to go and win the AEW tag titles one last run. I do not want to see them win the tag titles. No way. When you've got guys like Santana and Ortiz who haven't won the championships yet, Butcher and Blade, they're never really been given a shot. Dark Order, Stu Grayson and Eva Luno, man, they're not even their main tag team anymore. They're so good, but it's always like John Silver and Alex Reynolds, who I'm a fan of as well, but they've got so many tag teams, and I'd just rather not see the Hardys be in the spotlight, to be honest. But there you go.
I think everybody needs to realise that Jeff Hardy's the only one that really matters out of those two. He's the one that's the most over. This would have been the perfect opportunity to bring him in and have him go for have a match with Darby Allin and then do like a TNT title run. Put the TNT title over, do it for a couple of months. Man. Him and Darby Allin just having this pure insane feud. Do the tag match between the Hardys, Sting and Darby. Then Darby, Jeff in a cage or something, like a TLC style match. Jeff then gets injured, goes out for a couple of months and goes to ROH and he's a trainer. Sorted, he's there, you've still got him on the books, he can still perform every now and again. But this is when we get into Tony Khan, is like that the gif you get, and it's like the guy with like the chalkboard and the paper and all that, and like the lines going everywhere, and he's like got a whiteboard pen, and it's like nobody knows what you're doing. You have great wrestlers, but nobody knows what you're doing story wise, and it hurts the product.
Yeah, so something that does, like I love AEW as much as the next person, but something that does annoy me is all of these 8-man tags and 6-man tags. I hate multi-man tags when they don't mean anything. Like if they brought in like titles, I would like it, because you know they got like feuds and stuff to build up to. But when they're like, oh, we got this feud between the Andrade family office and the Hardys are in. Oh yeah, let's just put Hardy, Sting, and Darby against Private Party, and that's I'm not a fan. But
I just want to see what we want to see. We all know, us wrestling fans know about the Sting and Jeff Hardy situation back in the day. Have Sting stand in the ring and be like, I'm not going to wrestle you, I don't trust you after what you done last time. Cuts, it's real, like it gets you into that point, like fuck, he's really actually upset with him. Sting's probably doesn't care, he's making more money than half the roster put together. But like, stop, like I feel like Tony Khan, especially Vince, WWE, everywhere does this as well. The poor pussy fart around telling the stories that we want to see. Like, just give me the shit that I like. Cody versus Seth. Just give us Cody versus Steph. Stop farting around with it. I don't want to see it in 6 months. Just tell me the story now. Treat me like a baby. Feed me my story and let me just be happy. Wrestling's very simple. The fans want this match. WWE, AEW, to an extent, just do something totally different as well. Like, just give me what I want. Like, I'll give you my money if you give me what I want. Like, it's no... well, no, it's not a secret. But moving on, man, WrestleMania is just around the corner where I don't have the buzz for it at all this year. I might do a live stream. I don't know. I don't know if I can... After the Elimination Chamber, I don't know if you've watched that live stream that I've done, but midway through it, there's tears build up in my eyes at how fucking shite that show was. I was like, this is so bad. Like, this can't even get any more boring than what it was. But I've not got the buzz at all. Steve's saying, hello, how are you doing? Steve, just...
How's it going, man?
Speaking about you, talking about how much you like Impact and how still nobody really cares about it. But
I do dabble in Impact because, like Steve said, I watched what was it, Sacrifice, the really good pay-per-view, and I don't watch the full shows, but they have got some good stuff going on, to be fair. So, but like you said last time, I do think they are lacking a main event scene, which to like draw you in. So.
I think it's just copy and paste stuff that kind of pisses me off. Like, I've seen the same stories that they do constantly. Like, they never change it. It's the same. Before a pay-per-view, a guy's going to get attacked. Somebody's got to stand with a belt, and then they go. Like, it's literally the same, and it's a lot worse than WWE because they've not got writers and budgets that big. But then you're just like, this is a wee bit annoying. But the WrestleMania feeling, I've not got it.
Yeah,
it's not there.
What?
And I don't know if it's coming. So. I've wrote down we should talk about the card. If you don't, we'll go through night one, which... So it says, obviously they're not in any order yet. We don't know how they're going to come out, but Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. The Usos versus Nakamura and Rick Boggs. Flair versus Ronda Rousey. Flair versus Ronda Rousey is utter shit. It's the same build they done last time. Like, it's the exact same story that they're telling, and it makes no sense. But night one, that card, are you going to sit down? You're going to get like your Chris and shit set out and be like, this is going to be a great night of wrestling?
I'm going to a Hooked on Wrestling event, man. I'm going to Hooked on Wrestling at a pub with a few friends of mine. So, and I was around my cousins last night who we're going to, and we were just saying, man, we are not up for it. Just so underwhelmed by WrestleMania this year. But, we're going to go have some drinks and we'll see how it goes. But
so Steve just said the anger in my face reading out that card. This is probably WrestleMania 11, WrestleMania 12, like those weird,
I'm not
terrible.
To it.
But at least you're
there's
going to
so
have
many.
drinks.
There's so many. Yeah, well, yeah, there is that. There's just so many celebrities. There's so many celebrity appearances. It's like, oh man, where's the wrestling?
Night two doesn't get any better. We've got Lesnar Roman, which what is even going on? What's Lesnar doing? What's he? I'm not even getting into it. I'm excited for that one. I don't care what Lesnar does. He just looks so stupid with the cowboy hat on, and then like the. But I don't care. I'm happy to see it. Edge versus AJ, probably going to be the one that we talk about for him. But I hope it's going to be good, because if it's no, these two have disappointed me. Pat versus Austin Theory.
Potential.
No. People need to stop saying potential. There's no potential here.
I don't know, man. You got to think like Theory.
No, Austin Theory's just what Vince wants to be, the new John Cena. If you go back and watch the early John Cena, it's the exact same stuff that he's doing. Tried to put him over. Fans started like, why you try to put him over? So he's killed it down a wee bit. It's the same thing. And I don't really care for Pat.
When I say potential, I mean compared to all these other matches on the card. What else is there to look forward to over that one?
Potential, no, to be utter terrible, just to be terrible. But people need to go back to 2002 and look at John Cena with his green shorts on, the exact same style as Austin Theory, same haircut. Same way he walks out to the... Well, where he did walk out to the ring before he got that selfie stupid gimmick, but...
You
like,
watch, he's going to start rapping in a minute.
It's the same shit, like the same stuff. Like Vince was over in Cena, Vince is over in him. It's the same stuff. We're going to be sitting here 10 years from now saying this guy is shite. And it hopefully, because Cena helped, drive that hatred period of this guy's utter pish, we need to support other wrestlers. So that was a good point in wrestling for like 10 years. Hopefully he gets the same. But we've got John Knoxville. No, is that right? Johnny Knoxville,
Johnny
that's
Knoxville,
it.
yeah.
Versus Sami Zayn. No, please. He's not even the cool one for the Jackass guys. Like, it's no...
Yeah.
Why? And then...
then
we've got the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag match, which is...
They could have done so much more with those belts, man.
Queen Zelina and Camilla. My fiance, she loves Camilla. She done a wine tasting thing. On Zoom, I think it was Zoom, and she's always liked her. I don't think the woman just shouldn't be in the ring, but
yeah,
you've got Sasha Banks and Naomi. Sasha Banks is there. Why is she there? It makes no sense. We can use her somewhere better than Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. As much as I like that tag team, they look cool. The Nikki Cross thing, we've not tied that up yet.
No.
So did you just realise after 6 months that it was complete shit that everybody's been telling you that it was? And then we've got Natalya and Shayna Baszler. But
this is a year like where they have, they got Johnny Knoxville in, they got Logan Paul in, they got Pat McAfee in. This is the year when you could have had 2 more women's singles matches or triple threats or fatal 4-ways. Because in my opinion, I think they've done a good job of building up the division. Like Doudrop's quite up there. Liv Morgan, I feel like they've done a pretty good job. Rhea Ripley's been okay, in the last few months. But, you just had Lita. Why not have Lita versus Sasha Banks? That might be a match that people want to see. I just feel like there was potential to have, I don't know, to give more to the women's division, but they've just put them all in a clusterfuck, I guess. Sorry, excuse my French. But they put them all in a cluster match again. So it's like...
Well, I don't even know how they mess it up so much. Like, I did like the Drew McIntyre Happy Corbin thing. I've done that video about Drew McIntyre. He's exactly where he needs to be, but no against Happy Corbin. Give him the IC title, let him run with it for even better. Obviously, we just lost Scott Hall this week. Put like a ladder match, whatever, for the IC title there. Have the final, I don't know, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, patch Damian Priest gimmick that they're trying to put him into the new, because just have him be like a badass guy.
They're probably going to do Balor versus Priest as well, aren't they? I would imagine.
See, I want to see McIntyre versus Priest IC title match.
That'd be class.
And
I'd be right
let them go. Add Finn Balor in there as well. Do a triple threat. Put a ladder in there too. Then you've got 3 people that are only getting used. A belt that means nothing new. That'll look like it means something once one of these guys wins it. There you go. You've saved something. WWE, if you need me, I'm here.
Imagine
Come and pay me.
If they should do that, man. A ladder match, Priest versus Balor in a ladder match. That'd be really good, I reckon.
I think they need to change it up, didn't they? Because the card, the new, like, what are we, 2 weeks? Literally 2 weeks.
Aye. 2 weeks away. Yeah.
I'm actually considering not watching WrestleMania this year. I don't even know if I'll do a review on it. If I do a live stream, I'm not reviewing it. Like, I'll just sum it up at the end and clip it, because I'm not sitting through that. Like, I don't see anything. Like, what match are you looking forward to, apart from Edge and AJ? I think everybody's looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to Brock and Roman. Becky and Bianca should be decent. This is not a popular one. I am looking forward to Ronda versus Charlotte. I think the story's been pretty bad, to be honest with you. But I remember their match that they had previously. I think it was SummerSlam, and I was really into it. I was really annoyed that they had like that bad finish where I think Charlotte got disqualified or something. I thought they had quite a good physical match. So, yeah, hopefully that one impresses, and if Balor Priest happens that, but yeah, I suppose Brock and Roman after Edge and Seth. Yeah,
I don't know. Does it?
this is not doing it for you.
Lesnar, Reigns, Edge, and see the worst thing is like the night 2 so far looks like the night. It's got 2 matches on it that I would like to see. Like Becky Lynch,
get Rollins in that. Get Rollins in that Brock and Roman match, man. It's just full circle. From WrestleMania 31, you know, that was the start of the story. Stick Seth in there. It makes sense. I don't know why they're not. They need to have Brock versus Roman. You can't have anybody else. Oh,
it doesn't look good in the poster. That's what it is.
No, it doesn't.
The guy,
yeah, you're right.
The guy they've got doing their graphics, they don't know how to get 3 faces on the poster. They can only get 2. So you're stuck with that. No, man, like you said, Rollins in there, even an Owens in there. Or if it was me, like, and you were booking this, which I would do Roman Reigns against all his past opponents that you bet. Like, have them on a big, like, Roman Reigns wins here, WrestleMania. No, just Backlash. I'm not calling it WrestleMania Backlash. Roman Reigns against the guys that you bet. But the guys that you bet has genuinely been, well, Cesaro's gone because he went to fucking say nothing. Cena's not going to come back because he's away. And but
Edge is a heel.
So there's nothing really we can do there. I'm probably going to get Lesnar against Roman next month as well. And I'm not interested in it. Like, see, the worst thing is WWE, you get something, you're like, this will be cool. I know we've seen this match a million times already by the time we've got to it being cool. And we're going to see it a million more times. Like, I don't mind seeing it, but I don't know if I want to see it till like my eyes start bleeding with it, and I don't need to.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is the end of Lesnar Roman. This has got to be the final chapter, done and dusted.
Who wins what? Who goes over there? Does
Roman?
Lesnar
it's got to
win
be
Roman?
Roman. It has to be Roman, man. If they put it around Brock, you're just ruining something special, in my opinion. Like, you know, I mean, Roman, how long has he held it now? He's nearly 2 years or something like that. Like, the guy's making history, and if Brock wins, he's just going to lose it to Roman, isn't he? Who's Brock going to lose it to? You know what I mean? It would be Roman. So
we've got Steve with some. Seth really should try to get into the Roman and Brock match like he did the KO thing. 100%, man. That would make sense. Cody would. I don't think he would get a Hardy Boys pop. I mean, let's try and stop bigging Cody that much. He's no. We're not going to sit and be like, this guy's amazing.
I think he would get the pop if he came out to his AEW theme song. I think that would get a massive pop personally. But if he comes out to like his old school WWE theme music, it might be a bit underwhelming. But yeah, man, because I'm pretty sure he owns the song. So yeah, man, if he came out to that'd be pretty cool. Oh, what about Steve Austin and Kevin Owens?
Don't know what happened there. Having a wee bit of technical issues, I think, on my side.
What are you thinking about Steve Austin and Kevin Owens? Oh, can you hear me? Oh, I don't know if it's me or if it's Barry. Not too sure. What Steve said here, he will be looking for it. Not sure he will get it, but agree with Aaron. Kingdom Song would help. I think it would for sure. It's a great song, and I think it would do the job. I'm on my own. This is I'm sure Barry will be back in a moment. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'm quite underwhelmed about the WrestleMania card, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm going to watch it because it's WrestleMania. So
sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
I held the fort for you, man. It's all good.
It went all weird, but it's just a weird, like, I don't know. It's a weird situation.
What are your thoughts on Steve Austin and Kevin Owens?
I don't even, like, Why are we having Austin back for something that, with what Kevin Owens, it's going to be cool. It'll be fun, right? But why are we wasting? Like, if Austin's going to come back and do like one last wee run or just something, why are we wasting it on like a Kevin Owens who's already over as hell? At that point, we can waste it on an Austin Theory or somebody younger that Austin could really put his weight behind.
Unless Owens stunners Austin and he's the one who ends up drinking the Canadian beer. That ain't going to happen. But
No, let's.
no, it's not going to happen. He's going to get stunned. He's going to get stunned, and yeah. But there you go.
I don't know. In the announcement of a UK WWE pay-per-view coming this year, I think it's an announcement, or it might still just be dirt sheet talk. Who knows? Anyway, those clickbait headings are really actually pretty good. But would you be excited for a UK pay-per-view this year? Would you think it would be worthwhile, or do you think they're going to do something like Drew McIntyre against Tyson Fury in like Wembley or some shit, and that'll just make me, emigrate more than I want to emigrate already?
Yeah, it all depends on what the card would be, to be honest. I'd probably try and go. It's not every day you can see a WWE pay-per-view in the UK, is it? So last one happened a long old time ago. So yeah, I don't know. It would depend on like what WWE is looking like, what booking is looking like up until that point. So, but yeah, as you say, if they do a Tyson versus bloody Drew McIntyre match, they got to do it, man. If they bring it to UK, do Drew versus Roman. Even if it's not SummerSlam or something like that, I think you need to put Drew in a title match because he is the biggest representative of the UK, isn't he? So, yeah,
pretty much is.
Oh, you go.
I don't even know, man. I don't know if I would go. Like, I would like to go. I would like to go see it, like experience that pay-per-view here in the UK. Because obviously, I think when the last one was here, I was like 9 months old or something. But like I don't know if it would be something that, like you said, depending on the card. But Drew would have to be up there, wouldn't it? Like Dewdrop as well. And please change Dewdrop's name. If somebody in WWE listens to this, please stop it. It sounds like it honestly sounds like a cough drop, like fucking Hall's cough drops or some shit. Like you're trying to...
It'd be quite cool if like Nikki Ash reverted back to a Nikki Cross gimmick, and you put Dewdrop back to Viper, and she kind of gets a bit darker as well, like Nikki Cross, and you've kind of got like an unhinged tag team. I think that would be pretty interesting. But they're not going to do it, are they?
No, but another women's tag team that they're probably going to mess up somehow. Like somehow they're going to take it and mess it up, and you're like, just forget it. And that brings us towards the end of this week in wrestling, and it's going to bring to a big point that I've wrote down here, and it's just Raw. Just why is Raw so bad? Like the one there, I didn't even watch it. Obviously, we spoke about GG on wrestling, going through a midlife crisis after watching Raw. Where do you think the disconnect between what seems to be every wrestling fan in Raw is? Like, how are they able to write it and go, this is good TV, when everybody can clearly see that this is really bad, and it's just getting worse? So it seems if, I know everybody's waiting for Cody to come and it'll be a big pop and people will watch it and enjoy it and whatever, but Raw's literally been the same. They've had 3 episodes that have, in the past year, since the start last WrestleMania, that have really done anything, and it's just been the same shit. Like, where do you think the disconnect is? And
it's too long. It's far too long, man. I think that's the thing. Like, it's too spread out. The roster is not big enough. That's the thing. We talk about AEW's roster being too big. WWE's is far too thin. Like, you know what I mean? We're seeing the same matches every week, which is, it's all they can do, because when you're doing a 3-hour show, there's only so many matches you can put on, really, isn't there? So I think that's where the disconnect comes in at the minute. We can all complain about the storytelling and all that lot, But I think, if they have a 2-hour show, it just becomes a little bit easier to digest. I suppose there's not as much filler in there.
That's still too long, 2 hours, isn't it? Like,
It is, yeah. As I said, the stories aren't great. A lot of the stories aren't great, are they? But yeah,
I don't know. The best thing WWE's done recently is released that game, the WWE 2K22. I've been playing it. I've enjoyed it. Yeah. It's the best thing that I've done in a long time. I'm going to say that because there's nothing. There's literally, and some of the storylines in the WWE game are better than what we get in TV. It's like if you know that these storylines are there, can you just air them? And so Steve's saying WWE creative grew up playing Universe Mode in WWE games, makes them think we need the same match 22 weeks in a row. Man, that's it. The throwback is was it EWR, which is like a football manager for wrestling. I don't know if any of you know that, or I'm just showing my age, but
I've heard of it, yeah.
It was terrible, and you booked the match, and it just feels like that's what wrestling these guys done, and they were like, it's not that bad. Like, we can just, if we book this, we're going to get these amount of people to view it, and it's just so. Like, SmackDown's getting the same way as well, and I think, like you said, with the roster being so small, there's not really anybody there that's. You've got Roman, Brock, they're on their main event stuff. Seth maybe touching Roman, but Roman would still be taking a step down to face Seth. You know what I mean? It's like, who's Roman going to next after Brock? Like, is there anybody that you can?
That's the thing as well, man. Like, they put so much stock into their main event scene. It's like, why? Where were the stories for like the US title and the IC title? These should be like massive parts of your show. Cut Raw down to 2 hours, and actually have like the US title defended like every week. Like Shinsuke's run man as the IC title. What did they do? He never defended it. It's like, get him on the show every single week. Get him in a story. That should be like your second or third biggest story, man, on the show. But I don't know, if you've got a title, use it. You know what I mean? Everyone's complaining there's so much filler on these shows. It's like
the IC title, like I made a video for it. It's one of the oldest titles that's still around in WWE at the minute. And why can we not use it? Make it feel good. Make it feel like, I always remember whoever had the IC title, when they lost it, you knew they were going to go for the main belt because it was like a trial belt. And that's the way, like The Rock, Austin,
John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, everybody, the new guys,
same as the US kind of title was always, you had that and then you would go on, but we don't get it anymore. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, how can you not see this? Isn't just like a like? Obviously, wrestling's staged, right? We all know I know it's might be a shock, calm down, people, but like the belts now seem to mean nothing. Like, and that goes for. AEW's done good to make them feel like something, even if they're
prestigious.
Like, even if they don't, Adam Page doesn't feel like a world champion. But when he's holding that belt, it's helped him look more like a world champion when he's got it. Then you look at WWE and it's like Roman Reigns. I mean, that's it. So he's only champion that I've got, and I'm just pissed off at WWE. Like, I can't be bothered to watching it.
It's the way Vince has always seen it. Like, I listened to Chris Jericho's podcast with Kurt Angle yesterday, and they were talking about his. Do you remember their triple threat match at WrestleMania with Benoit for the European and the Intercontinental Championship? And the first fall, I think Jericho won the Benoit won the IC belt, and Jericho went to Vince and he was like, "Why are they winning the IC belt first? Like, that's the bigger championship. European belt's only just been about a couple of weeks." And they were just like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just, not like downplaying it." And it's like, come on, this belt is one of your, it's one of your oldest belts in the whole company. But they I don't know. Yeah, they just don't. They're not too fussed, are they?
I know people will sit and say, like, we're saying cut Raw down to like 2 hours. They'll be like, but they're going to use like millions in ad revenue. Sometimes you might need to take that cut to make it good. Even if you're just wanting to appease a few 100,000 wrestling fans, but those few 100,000 wrestling fans will tune in every single week and actually tweet and be happy about your product, or go to Instagram or so like me, make a review about it, and we're like, this is actually pretty good. Raw's turned a corner, but we're not getting that anytime soon, man, because that's wishful thinking. And I just right now, like when I took my break just before one of my challenges when I was training a little bit more, I didn't watch any wrestling. I think it was the longest period I didn't watch any wrestling since like 5 years. I took like a year and a half break, but those 6 weeks off, I was like, I can't even watch. This is so shite. Like it's everything was like it was even annoying me like watching other wrestling stuff because like this is pissing off. This is just fucking. I don't know why. And I was starting to know like the old stuff, like the old stuff that I really like.
Oh no!
I was like, I need to take a
break from it. Yeah,
WWE's ruining it
That's
for
a
me.
good sign.
I came back and it feels good, but like I said, it's so. It's right at the minute for me. I'd say it's so shit. But those taking those breaks from even on YouTube as well, because we do this. We're watching shows. We're trying to review stuff and do podcasts and shit. And then you're like, I'm going to burn out, especially when you've got like a Raw, a SmackDown, an NXT 2.0. And I know you like it, but I'll throw it in there because it's terrible and all.
Say I like it. I don't really watch it on a regular basis. But
you like leave it on and leave the house and go to the shop. Like just so I can count as you've watched it. But man, I can't. WWE at the minute, it's just... And see... other thing is, the other week, the network, for some reason, on my new Xbox Series X, I've had it for like, when it first came out, day one, guy went and got it and everything, loved it. And it's just stopped working, the WWE network. It completely like buffers all the time. And it's only lets me watch the new stuff, so like 2021 and 2022, but the old stuff buffers. And I'm like,
oh, no.
Why are you doing this? Like, you're just really pissing me off. And then like, I've just... uninstalled it and then I've got it back and I was like, you know what, it's not too bad. Like the buffering isn't that bad. But I was close to be like, I'm not doing this anymore. No, but I just think Raw, like I was saying, it's just terrible, isn't it? Like, I don't know, in wrestling at the minute, there's no really a storyline that, I don't know if you feel this way, but there's no storyline that's like, this is a wrestling storyline. I'm excited to watch this storyline. Nothing really seems like, oh, I can't wait to see this. It really seems like the storyline I knew is Tony Khan going to hire somebody else like Cesaro or something like that. And it's
there's not. Yeah, I feel like in the past when you've had like the wars between WCW and WWE, like when AEW first was created, I feel like wrestling fans, we always need that massive thing where it's like, oh my god, like when Punk returned, you know, that was quite a big deal. But I do suppose at the minute there's sort of nothing too major going on, but I don't know. We're wrestling fans. We've always put up with it, and we're probably just going to carry on with it.
I am going to watch it no matter what, no matter how bad it gets. I'll be there to get my fix. But man, thanks for being on the show this week. It's been fun to have a good rant.
Always.
Honestly, if you feel like for you and Steve, I can always get he's moaning about wrestling, but podcast show. People should go subscribe to you. You've got your 4 pillars video of WWE was fantastic. I was listening to it when I was out a run this morning. It was fantastic. Plug your. What do you want people to go watch? Where do you want people to check you or whatever?
No, I appreciate it, man. Again, massive thanks for having me on this show. I always like your videos, man. As you said, you say you don't put much into it, but it's really organic. You don't mess about. You tell everyone what you're feeling. It's always good fun. But yeah, as I said, I am on a bit of a break at the moment, so there isn't any new content at the moment. But as Barry said, I've done another YWC where I've got different content creators in to talk about recently. What would the 4 pillars of WWE be? I've also got my under analysis. If you haven't seen them, please go check them out. It's just where I give a detailed breakdown of certain matches. I've got predictions on there, different stuff like that. But yeah, as I said, I am going to sort of change up the way I'm doing videos. I got some good ideas in mind. So yeah, please subscribe and stay tuned. But thanks for having me on, mate.
No problem, man. I'm going to end the stream there, and